Have you noticed that life isn't just getting busier? It feels like it's heating up and we are in a pressure cooker. At least that's how I feel these days. It's like you wake up in the morning, but you don't really feel completely restored. And you go through the day wondering what's going to hit me today? What's the news that's going to come out today? What are they going to say about the economy? What is the next global tragedy that is going to happen? It's like it has steadily been rising. The temperature's been rising month over month this year. Is it just me? Or have you been feeling the very same way this year? If you've been trying to function with this quiet tension, almost like this really fine layer of anxiety that's been following you around, you are not alone. It makes sense, and you're not going crazy, and there's nothing wrong with you. What I want you to know is that we are living in a world that feels like we're all living in this pressure cooker. And today, I was thinking about what is it that is mostly on people's minds today. And what I think it is life feels really intense right now. And it feels as though there's this constant pressure on our minds, on our bodies, on our identities, on our time, on our values, because everything is so loud out there. And I want to talk about today how to turn down that heat, how to relieve some of that pressure that you may be feeling, which has just been building throughout this entire year. So here's what I want to do. I want you to take a breath and we're going to dive in. So welcome back to Mindset Medicine. I am your host, Katharine Loucaidou, and I have been a mindset and performance coach for many, many years. And I am the author of AI Secrets for Unstoppable Business Success and Life Hacks. And I have been involved in AI for the last few years. So I don't think that anyone needs to put us into a box saying that this is what you were meant to do, or this is what you need to talk about. I come on this podcast because I want to talk about things that are important to us today, things that are affecting our lives today. And today the topic is the pressure cooker and how it's making us feel. And what do we do about it? Because what happens is if we keep it building and building inside us, or if it's around us, or if you feel as though it's affecting who you are, what you do, your family, your values, it's time to reclaim your energy back, your nervous system back, your identity, and everything that matters to you. So why don't we just talk about what's going on and why it feels like all of this has been building? So if we take, imagine a camera and you're zooming out and you're like this person observing the world from above. Right now, we have global pressure. We have ongoing global conflict. We have humanitarian crises that happen weekly. We have climate anxiety. We have a lot of political division. And it is not just in North America, but it is in Europe and elsewhere. Even if you feel safe at home, your nervous system doesn't understand that you are not there in those threatening situations if you are watching them on television, if you are watching them on YouTube, if you are listening to them on the radio. Your nervous system cannot differentiate because of the feelings you feel as you're watching it, or your blood pressure starts to rise because you're angry about political situations or the economy, unfortunately, your body is just understanding that you feel under stress right now. Stress meaning tension, anger, sadness, disappointment, exhaustion, all of those things. Your body doesn't differentiate between a trauma that you are currently experiencing in your life or something that you're watching. Your brain cannot distinguish between this is happening near me and then this is happening somewhere else in the world. A threat just feels like a threat. The economic pressure that we have right now in the world is overwhelming. And depending on where you live, the situation may be less severe. And if you are in areas where there seems to be a lot of economic upheaval and there seems to be a lot of changes happening around where you live in your country, you're going to feel this. You're going to be worried. You're going to be stressed. You may not be sleeping well. You may be wondering about the what ifs. What if I don't have a job? What if my husband loses his job? What if you are in retirement age, what if benefits are cut off? There are so many what ifs these days that a lot feels really uncertain right now. Let's move over to the technology pressure. So I'm just going to talk about the different reasons why you may be feeling like this huge pressure is happening right now that you may not have realized you've been thinking about. So we have the technology pressure, AI and automation. It is literally in the news every day. We have the newest tools, we have the newest integrations, and the newest ways it can help you in your business. The problem is that it's all coming at you at the same time. There is no chance to actually digest one at a time. When the internet came in, it was one thing, the internet. So you could choose to go on AOL, you could choose to go on, what were the other platforms back then? There was AOL, and I can't even remember. But basically, I think there were 2 or 3 main platforms that you could access the internet. And then from there, whatever happened to be available, you could search. That was it. With AI, it is being inserted into every facet of our lives, whether it's at home or in business, in your car, on your phone. It's everywhere. And yes, it will make life easier for you. Yes, it will take over the manual tasks. However, before that happens, you actually have to choose which tool to use to help you in your life. That's where the overwhelm comes in. If you're running a business or a company, which of these tools do you take on? Because you are investing time, energy, and money into learning how these AI tools work. Our pace, our daily pace, does update all the time. Typically, we are able to adapt to the changing pace of the world until now. And what's happening is AI and technology are now evolving so quickly that even the smartest human being cannot catch up to how quickly they are evolving. And if we cannot catch up, our nervous system, which is helping us to thrive and survive under stress, under anxiety, under tension, it is way behind. It's still trying to figure out what's going on with you. Why are you feeling so tense? One of the fourth items that you may be feeling is personal pressure. So, family obligations, aging parents, career expectations. Will you have a job if AI comes into your workplace or your business or your industry? Do you feel like it's time to reinvent yourself? Are you tired of what you've been doing? And are you ready for something different? Do you want to make a small change or do you want to completely move? Move into a different area, a different country, start over again, create a new you, or maybe look for the you may have lost over the years. Maybe you've just lost who you are. Have you raised kids and done everything for everyone else for so many years that when someone says, "Who are you?" you don't know how to answer that question? Do you like who you've become? You don't know how to answer that question. Do you know where you want to be 10 years from now, 5 years from now, 2 years from now? And you can't answer that question either. Pause for a moment and think about all these examples I've just given you. All of these things going on are layers and layers that are creating the pressure around you. And that's why I say it feels as though we are living in a pressure cooker because all of these things create these layers around us. And if they start squeezing, that's where the pressure comes in. So, of course, you're tired. Of course, you are frustrated and feeling anxious, but sometimes don't even know why. Of course, you may feel like your energy is much lower than it usually is. Have you been more sick than you usually are? Are you picking up colds faster than you typically did before? Are you finding that you're having some strange side effects in your body, but all the tests say that you're fine? And blood tests show that there's nothing wrong, but yet you can't put your finger on it, but something feels off. You are not malfunctioning. I can promise you that. You are responding the way an individual, the way a human being responds when they are under chronic, layered pressure. So let's dive in a little bit to what this is. I have been really looking into the nervous system, and I'll tell you why. Because I have been having a lot of different kinds of side effects. I thought it was my heart, and as you know, I have had, open heart surgery and I've had all of these things. So my heart is always one of the first things on my mind. When I start getting heart palpitations or skipping beats or low blood pressure. Some people get high blood pressure. I get low blood pressure. So why? Where did this come from? Out of nowhere. So in my chats with ChatGPT, and you can comment on we shouldn't be talking about medical things, but I do because I know my body very well, and I always keep copies of my health tests that I do. So I am able to compile what I am like when I have nothing wrong with me and when I do a blood test and it shows like there's something wrong with me. I like to have base levels. And if you don't keep copies of every single health test that you do, you should be calling up your medical provider and asking for every test. If I were to show you the file that I have on myself, It is larger than a doctor's office because I have every blood test that has been done. And I started doing this 19 years ago after my open heart surgery and heart attacks and stroke and so on. Because I was moving around to so many doctors, because I wouldn't accept the diagnosis they were giving me. Thank God I didn't accept it, because here I am today and I don't take medication. Had I listened to them, I probably wouldn't even be here today with the amount of medication that they wanted me to be on for no reason whatsoever other than its protocol. So that's another topic. But I started collecting all of my blood tests. And so here's how it has helped me. And this does tie into what we're talking about today when we talk about anxiety and pressure and so on. So here's what I want you to know, that when you collect your own data, you are able to piece together the puzzles that when someone is telling you, there may be something wrong with you, you need to be on this type of medication or that. I've always been able to go back to my tests and say, well, hang on a second, because these blood tests have shown this for the last 10 years. Why is it that this new blood test you've had me do that has the same numbers as the last 10 years, but all of a sudden now I need to go on medication? And I'll tell you that your doctor will typically say, that's interesting. I hadn't gone back 10 years. You need to be responsible for your own health knowledge, not your own health care, but your own health knowledge. So this is just a tip from me, and this is something that I've been telling my parents. My mother has some health issues, and every time she goes and gets a blood test, and she keeps being moved from doctor to doctor and hospital to hospital for more research, I told her, keep your file with you. Take it with you through every doctor like I have, because a doctor will never go back into too much history. So that's up to you. So when we talk about the nervous system, and I go to my doctor and I say, okay, well, this is how I'm feeling. I'm having heart palpitations. I'm having, skipping heartbeats and low blood pressure and so on. I know what my base numbers are. So when I go into the doctor's office and they say, your blood pressure is actually really good. Wow, it's so healthy. It's low. I said, no, hang on a second, because for 10 years, this has been my blood pressure. So this number that you're telling me is normal is not normal. So that's how I know that things are not as they should be. And the same thing when, they ask you to wear a heart monitor or ECGs and so on, and they say, oh, no, that looks perfectly fine. Well, hang on. Because if you are comparing me to the last 2,000 patients who have been wearing that monitor, yes, maybe mine looks okay. But this heart test for me, as opposed to what all the rest of my tests look like, no. It is not normal. It is abnormal. So what I've been learning in gathering all of my test data back, which is it's all actually fine, is that it is my nervous system that is creating these effects that I'm feeling, but there's nothing really concrete wrong with me. It is my nervous system creating an anxiety that most of the time I don't even feel, because I run on a high level of stress, likely for the last 19 years. And I'm just going to be honest with you. Ever since my heart surgery, I am always in a fight or flight situation, because I've always been worried. Am I going to have another heart attack? Will I wake up in the morning? This has never left my mind. simply because I was told that day in surgery, this surgery will only last you 5 years. I am now 15 years post that doctor saying that to me. So I keep wondering, is my time up? Not a great way to live. And as much as I travel and I do amazing things and I live life, for now, I have this trailing within me with my nervous system always on high alert. So I always feel like I'm in a pressure cooker, which is why I wanted to do this episode today, because am I alone in this? Or have you too felt that you're always on alert, like something's going to happen? So I've been learning to try and overcome this. And 19 years of being a certain way, I don't even know if I know what true relaxing means. So I've been digging into that, and doing the deep breaths that that ChatGPT suggests that I do, because here's some of the other things that I've learned, and maybe this will be a little bit of a lesson for you today. We have a nerve called the vagus nerve that goes from our brain down into our digestive system. It's a nerve that travels all the way. So think about this for a moment. If you get headaches, migraines, the palpitations of the heart, you have digestive issues, you have gut issues, believe it or not, this one nerve, the vagus nerve, can affect all of it. And the vagus nerve is attached basically to your nervous system. So you may think that you are dealing with all of these pressures, these different layers of pressures that I was talking about before. You may believe that you have been dealing with them really well and everything's fine, and I'm just going to have a glass of wine. I don't drink alcohol, so I don't have that concern. So for me, it's, can I walk it off? Can I breathe? Can I go outside into nature and feel a little bit better? But the tightness in the chest, or feeling like you can't even take a full deep breath, or you can't even exhale for 8 seconds, that is your nervous system completely tense and closed up. This is your entire body system saying, we haven't had a feeling of a safe pause for a really long time. And we're giving you these symptoms so you know it's time for you to step back and learn how to pause. There is this saying that at first your body will whisper to you, and you get these whispers of maybe something's wrong. And if you don't listen to the whisper, that voice gets louder until it screams at you and you have no choice but to stop because something's happened to your health. So if you're in that stage where maybe you're still at the whisper, stop and listen to it. If you've gotten to the stage where your body is screaming at you, which is probably where I am at now, that's where you really have to decide for yourself, okay, I need to get this under control. I need to get my nervous system under control, no matter what it looks like, what's going on the outside. No matter what's going on in the world, if I can learn to control my nervous system, I'll be okay. So here's what needs to happen. We need to move your brain from protective mode to creative mode. Because once your brain is in creative mode, it will actually start to relax. So here's what creative mode feels like. It feels like focus. It feels like you're in flow, clarity, confidence, and you have an emotional presence. Have you ever been around someone where it doesn't even feel like they're there? They're sitting there, but it doesn't really feel like they're there. Maybe they're on their phone, maybe they're just not paying attention to you. If you want to be emotionally present, then what that means is you can actually use all of your senses and you know exactly what's happening around you right now. You can hear the sounds going on, you can smell, you can taste. Is your mouth watering? Is your mouth dry? Are your lips dry? That's what it means to be in the present. You can actually take, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Like if you had to make a checklist, you could actually say, okay, this is what I hear. This is what I feel. My mouth is dry or whatever the case is. I'm feeling warm. I'm feeling cool. That's what it means to be emotionally present right now. When you're in protective mode, that is when you feel anxiety, you feel stress, you feel like your body is so tight. Your shoulders are probably up rather than relaxed. Maybe you are clenching your fists and you don't even realize it. At night, are you grinding your teeth when you're sleeping? Have you noticed that you have teeth breaking more often than you usually do? Are you breaking out? Is your skin breaking out? Do you feel like your blood pressure is higher than it usually is? Is your heart rate higher than it is? If you wear a Fitbit or an Apple Watch, watch your heart rate. When you're in what's called resting heart rate, your heart rate should likely be between 60 and no more than about 76. More than 76, you are not resting. When you are in motion and you're walking around, you're somewhere between 90 and probably 115 if you're not running. So understand what your base numbers are so that you know what is normal for you and what seems to be abnormal at the time. Are you having some foggy thinking? Like you can't remember things or you can't finish a complete sentence? What about emotional swings? One moment you're fine, and then the next moment you watch a video and you're crying. Are you finding that you're having emotional swings? Or maybe you're getting angry really easily, or you can get triggered by someone just saying something or receiving a text message. Are you procrastinating? Do you know you have certain things to do and you have literally been putting it off? Most of everything I've just told you is your biology under pressure. So here's what we're going to do. The strength in you that has gotten you through everything that you've gone through in your life is telling you to just keep pushing through, push through. It'll pass. But I want you to listen to the other voice in you, which is resilience. And resilience is asking you to pause, to ground yourself, and keep trying to think clearly. Think clearly and logically about what you're doing, how you're doing it. Are you happy with your life right now? Last night I was thinking about this because I think about, the topics that I have coming up that I want to talk to you about. And I was thinking to myself, I don't really like my daily schedule right now because I'm getting up early and I'm going straight to my computer and I'm starting work. And that is not good. It's not healthy because our minds need time. Wake up, look outside, walk outside, get a little bit of fresh air, get a little bit of sunshine if there's sunshine. Read something, listen to something, just spend time with your family. So sometimes we just have to re-ground ourselves and say, okay, well, hang on a second. Do I even like the way that things have been working? Or could there be a better way to be doing this that is healthier for my nervous system, that will help me deal with all of these different layers going on in the world right now? When you are using your strength, you are forcing yourself to do things. When you are using your resilience, you are helping your body to regulate. They are two different things. Strength is what you show the world, how strong you are. Resilience is how you rebuild inside yourself. The world doesn't need you to be stronger right now. The world needs you to be regulated and healthy. When you are regulated and healthy, and you feel like internally you've got everything under control, your mind will be clear. You are far wiser than you were before. You are creative. You are strategic. You respond to people instead of reacting to people. That is huge, because if you're in business or if you're in relationships with people and you are reacting to everything they say to you, that will get you nowhere, because emotions start to take over. But when you are under control and you can just respond to people or choose not to respond, also an answer, that's where the outcomes are far more positive for you and your body, mind, and spirit. You are more compassionate when you are under control. And you are unshakable, believe it or not. It is not the strength that you are putting out to the world that makes you more powerful. It is the internal resilience of keeping everything under control. And when I say under control, I mean healthy, I mean regulated. That is when your power returns back to you. So, here are some reset methods for you. When I was talking about the first hour of the day, how I've been reversing that now, you need to guard the first hour that you're awake of the day. No news. Don't scroll on your phone. Hydrate. Water is so important. Did you know that you dehydrate while you sleep at night? So the first thing that you should do is drink that glass of water the moment you wake up, because your body needs it. Your brain needs it. Slowly. Please try and avoid getting up at the last minute with an alarm clock. Set it a little bit earlier and then slowly get yourself up. Your nervous system will thank you for that. Because if you get up in a sudden movement and that continues all the way till you're out the door and in the car and going to work and all of that, the pace never calms down and your nervous system will stay high level to match your pace. It is up to you to slow that pace down for yourself. A quiet mind. When you can quiet your mind, that is when you start to hear your thoughts. You can hear your body. And that's when you'll know, do I actually have a health issue? Or could this be my nervous system and my vagus nerve that are overreacting right now? There is a difference between the two of them. Number 2, micro rest. Rest doesn't actually just come from vacations. If you've ever been on a vacation over the last few months, think about it. How much did you rest on that vacation? Or was it just a change of scenery? Rest comes in little moments throughout your day. So 60 seconds of breathing, 60 seconds of doing absolutely nothing. If you're at an office at your desk, sit there. 60 seconds. Don't do anything. If you're driving in the car, turn off the radio. Just drive with no noise for 60 seconds. That's all you need to reset, believe it or not. Number 3, co-pilot with AI. Now, you may not want to hear about AI again, but I am telling you, if you can just choose a couple of tools that will help you to move your business forward, will help you to create a financial plan for yourself, an economic pillow to land on in case you are so worried. Use it for that. It's very strategic in its advice. If you feel like you don't even recognize yourself anymore, maybe because you have felt so stressed, so much tension, maybe because you feel like everyone else in the world is really going crazy, it's okay because you are beginning to realize that life isn't as simple as maybe we thought it was. It's very easy to get into a daily pattern and habits and living in a world where everything was fine. Nothing was really happening. You were going about your day. But then when one thing starts happening and the next and the next, and it's like this snowball, that's when you start to say, okay, this is a little much. If you've been working in a job for the past 10 years, 20 years, and you're now beginning to realize that either that job may not be there in the next few years, or you don't feel like being there anymore because you've changed. You don't want to do it anymore. It doesn't inspire you. It doesn't interest you. It doesn't light a spark in you when you wake up in the morning to go there. You would love to do something different, but you don't know what that is. This is your identity wanting a shift, and that's okay. I've done it countless times, and it is what I help people do. So coming back around, we are living in a pressure cooker. But if you have ever seen a pressure cooker, at some point, the lid will pop off if it has been heated for too long. We don't want that to happen to you. It is time to turn down the noise that is around you. It is time for you to build your resilience, your regulation, how to regulate your nervous system. It is time to reclaim what you really want in this life. What do you want? Not what you have to do, but what do you want? And could you turn that into something new for yourself? If you are in this chapter right now and you are rebuilding who you are from the inside out, that is what I do with people every single day. That is what I help them do. And the outcomes are incredible. The joy that people feel once they realize that there is something else waiting for them. They just needed to figure out what it was and what that path forward looks like. And that's what I help them create. And the messages that I receive thanking me for even their families, because their families have now experienced another person, the person that they really wanted to be, but didn't feel like they could be out of all the responsibilities and stress and tension that they had before. If you want a guide for AI, I wrote this book for people to understand what AI is and some of the tools that will help you. AI Secrets for Unstoppable Business Success and Life Hacks. You can just get it off of Amazon. I promise you it's an easy read, and you will literally be able to implement things today into your business and life. Remember, please, you are not falling behind. There is nothing wrong with you. You are evolving, but it's time to take a breath. It is time to recalibrate, build your nervous system back up again so that you can take on your next chapter of life. I'll see you next week.